in Tripoli for you. As I say, we will interrogate the future of Libya and the operational adequacy or not of the NTC in the next couple of minutes. But first, let's talk about the brutality of the past. Some outsiders, including governments and human rights groups, are uncomfortable with the way that Gaddafi was killed and his body put on exhibition in what was a meat freezer, effectively. But what do Libyans themselves think? The people who were forced to live under his rule for decades. Well, joining us now on the show is Juma Sassi, a Libyan living in Britain. He's very tapped into the sentiment back home. And in fact, he's been tending to Libyan fighters who were flown here by the British government for treatment. Joining us now, firstly, what are you hearing from those injured during the fighting, sir?
Thank you very much, Becky, for having me on the program. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty God, and then I would like to salute the souls of the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for their country, and wish a quick recovery for the wounded. Becky, could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, and we appreciate what you've just said. Let's talk about what you are hearing from those who've been injured during the fighting, because I know that you are helping to tend some of those that the British government had sent back. What are they saying?
Actually, what they were saying is what they have seen on the battlefield and the aggressiveness of the Gaddafi forces. Actually, one of them has lost his leg because he was shot with a poisonous bullet. So, you know, he got a very bad infection, and then the doctors had to cut his leg off because Gaddafi was using poisonous bullets to shoot the freedom fighters.
So are you or they bothered about the treatment of Gaddafi after his capture? The UN certainly is, of course.
The treatment of Gaddafi after his capture is normal, I think, for what he has done to Libyan people over the last 42 years. And especially over the last 8 months. You know...
It's always the way of the technology. You just... you think you're there and you're not. We'll see if we can get back to Juma Sassi, a Libyan living in Britain, if we can. But you've certainly heard his words, tending to those who are returning home, suggesting that, you know, neither he nor they, to a certain extent, are bothered by the way that... Gaddafi was treated, as we've said. The United Nations and others certainly are, with Gaddafi dead and buried and the revolution declared over. What lies ahead for Libya? Well, here's a quick reminder of what the National Transitional Council has promised. The government will prepare for the election of a National Congress within 8 months. When it's formed, the National Transitional Council would cease to exist. The Congress would form a committee to write a constitution which would be put to the people for a vote. The final stage of democratic transition would be general elections for Parliament and a president, perhaps as early as 8 months after the National Congress is formed. Juma, I know you're back with us. How optimistic are you about the future of the country? Is this 8-month timetable realistic, do you think?
I think the Libyan people are eager to have a state of law and to exercise their right of freedom and free speech. So, and you know, Libyan people are educated people. The literacy rate is over 90%. So I think with the help of the international community, it will be possible to establish, you know, elections after 8 months. So I am very optimistic about the future once we got rid of that brutal dictator.
Juma Sassi is a Libyan living here in the UK. We appreciate your thoughts and your time, sir, this evening. An ambitious plan, perhaps, for a country that's never experienced the ballot box. Is this timetable